Welcome to Sister My Soul, a podcast birthed out of our hearts. Two soul sisters with nearly 2 decades of combined wisdom as experts in our fields of holistic and alternative therapies. This is Keri Campbell.
And I'm Victoria Jaswick. Our intention is to offer the essence of soul-sister connection that calls us to our best. Nourishing conversation that deepens connection to self, soul, and one another.
For the next hour, we'll explore concepts, perspectives, transformational and healing tools that support us on our journey as women and sisters. We are so grateful you are here to join us for some nurturing
Sister My Soul time.
Hello, and welcome to Sister My Soul, episode 2.
Yoo-hoo!
Happy February 4th. And today's topic is about intention. And Victoria had a brilliant idea yesterday. She sent me an email that said, hey, why don't we share our intentions with one another about working with one another, our intentions for ourselves in doing this podcast, and our intentions to you all, our sisters of the world.
Yes.
And so I would love Victoria to start. Well, you know what? First, let's check in.
Yes, that would be helpful.
Let's check in.
Yes.
How are you?
You know, I'm feeling both nervous and excited, although I think technically it's both the same energy,
right,
physiologically, but I noticed that nervousness and getting used to having a camera. I mean,
I know.
We do this really well, and we're just going to imagine this is our third friend sitting here with us.
We need a picture of one of you out there so that we can just kind of tape it behind the camera so that we can talk to you.
That will be great once we get to know who's listening, that we can imagine them there.
Fun.
But yeah, I'm feeling nervous a little bit, but also I'm feeling a lot of joy today, and I'm also feeling really grateful and centered because we paused our journey that's unfolding here and said, where's our intention in this? Although we've talked about it, solidifying it and saying, what's your intention personally and collectively? And I feel so good about that. So, yes. How about you?
Good.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
You know, I am going to admit to typically not enjoying snow. But we got our first snow last night here in Sequim, and it was a beautiful snow at that. The one that falls just right. It's enough that it turns the whole world white and clean in this beautiful slate. So as I was sitting at my desk looking out my windows at the beautiful snow, thinking about that clean slate, and just thinking about intentions and what I want to put forth and what we're bringing forth. And so I felt this sense of joy well up, and happiness and gratitude that this has come to us and that we get to be the ones who bring it.
Absolutely.
And I'm also grateful for my little barking dogs. In case
I think you were going to say
they
me.
are a joy.
I thought she was going to say grateful.
I'm super grateful for her, but you weren't barking at the moment.
I may be later. I don't know. This morning I was.
So let's go back to your idea of writing out our intentions to one another and to our sisters in the world. And to this project in general. Right. And why don't you start?
Okay.
Do you need my glasses?
No.
Okay, I do.
I have contacts in. So why the intention, because our topic is intention, so we thought, well, what's our intention here? What personally and working together, collaborating, co-creating this. Right. So my intention in co-creating Sister My Soul podcast. My intention is to have a greater outreach to women, to support, nurture, inspire, and connect through our shared experiences as women on our individual and collective journeys of unfolding.
Nice.
To show up just as I am, perfectly imperfect. Offering a lot of grace with that one, right? To offer what I've gathered on my journey as a woman, as a healer, to help create a space where we can gather, learn, and grow from one another, to strengthen our connection to self and to each other, so we may rise individually and together with our potential and purpose, living our best lives.
Nice.
Yeah,
excellent.
thank you.
Well, a little disclosure here. It was truly just this week. Well, it's been a week since I began claiming this podcast as ours, rather than yours that I was helping you with.
Right.
And absolutely by no fault of you, but more out of a concern of not claiming something that wasn't mine. And since you had the title, I think I was just subconsciously thinking of this as yours still. You know, this is yours that I'm helping you with, and I was happy and joyful to be a part of that. But that wasn't creating a space for me to make full commitment.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and be all in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now I am solidly claiming it as ours.
Yes.
My intention, I intend to bring my best self to the table every time in the presence of truth and honesty. I intend to have fun.
Yes.
I wrote it 3 times. Fun. Enlighten the heart of women listening and in some way enrich their lives. That's my hope.
Love it.
It is my intention to approach each episode with a heart of compassion and gratitude, and to trust my wisdom and present it from let's back up. Present it from a coherent heart and brain. Yeah. I am kind of a Dr. Dispenza freak, and that's a big thing about really, in order to set a solid intention and to manifest that intention, we have to get our heart and our mind in coherence with one another. And really the coherence is originated from the heart. So,
Yes.
To you.
To me. Okay.
To you.
You'll cry probably, but
It is my true intention to have your back. That's what sisters do.
Yes.
To love you with my whole heart, which I already do. To revel and honor in your wisdom and your experience. Yeah.
Wow.
To always be honest with a soft heart and look to your highest self. And this is alluding to earlier, something she sent me. And by the way, I already trust you completely, or I wouldn't be doing this. For the show and for you all, it is my intention to be committed to its success and to continue to do the work that it takes to help all of our lives be better.
Amen, sister. Wow.
There we go.
Okay.
So thank you for that inspiration.
Thank you.
Setting our intentions to one another, to the show, to all of you,
I
for
want
ourselves.
to do my second part then too.
Oh, yes,
And I feel like I almost said, I do. But how, really what we're doing, we are creating a solid structure for us to be held, to hold everyone out there. And I'm just feeling, it feels so right.
And holding ourselves accountable for what this podcast is about, intention.
Right.
And it would not be a solid foundation if we didn't set our intention for this intention podcast.
Exactly. So this is my intention in working with you, co-creating this. Sort of a theme, same thing, but my intention in sharing this platform with my co-creator, you, is to show up authentically, joyfully, and willingly to roll up my sleeves, open my heart, take personal responsibility for my inner world, and in practicing clear, honest, and compassionate communication as we join our efforts supporting other women, to invite acceptance, trust, humility, and faith to companion me and us as we develop and unfold this mission and serving our other sisters.
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
She is such a beautiful wordsmith.
Oh,
right?
so are you. Thank you, friend.
You know how
Thank
to
you
put
so
things
much.
so beautifully. So, with all of that, we would like to invite you to sit back with your cup of tea. I'm going to get a sip of ours.
Yeah, I love it. We have this beautiful.
Yeah, life is a journey.
Life is a journey cup.
One of you already commented we need to have cups made, and so that's going to be on the way for sure.
Yes,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Just looking out at this gorgeous snow.
Yeah. And by the way, when we put this out there, probably won't be snowing because I think we're pre-recording and then launching in March, so it may not be snowy on the day you watch this, but it is today, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So thank you for the tea.
You're welcome.
Love it.
So the topic today, intention. Why did we choose the topic of intention? For me, Victoria, intention, it started so many years ago for me being fully aware of that. One, I'm really fully aware of it, but you know.
When did that happen? Tell me how. I want to learn.
Long time. The thing about setting clear intentions and really becoming disciplined about that is that it can change your life. I mean, it literally has the potential to change your life when you make that commitment to live a life of intention.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little later about, ways to do that, the way I did that. But that is my reason, I think, because it's we wanted these first few podcasts to kind of be a foundation of what we were going to be bringing to all of you and to one another. And I think this is the most important foundation.
Right. Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Because that is what we are going to be creating every other one from.
Yes. Yes.
So,
yeah.
What is what are your feelings on why you wanted to do this podcast of intention?
Yeah, it was exactly what you said, foundation, but I have a giggle happening inside because I remember years ago, and I don't remember when, but it was such a funny meditation moment. And I often say Spirit has the greatest sense of humor because I get these gems sometimes, and I literally heard in a meditation, you have a choice. You can set intention or you can be in tension.
Oh, yeah, I love that. I just got it like
intention. Like I'm feeling tense, and I remember a teacher years ago, like whenever I was, and I still get like that, like kind of just overwhelmed, and she would say to me, "Have you done your meditation? Have you prayed? Have you?" And I think she might have even said, "Have you set intention?" Right. So years later, I'm still, starting my days and feeling like a little bumpy, and like, wait a minute, I didn't set any focus for today. I didn't set any intention. So that's my little reminder. If you are tense and overwhelmed, did you set intention? If not, take a back step and set intention.
Get out of your tension.
Yeah. Yeah.
Intention. I like that.
Yeah.
Very good.
And I think that with us collectively, it's getting in alignment too. That's another way of thinking about it. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to go over. We both, in preparing for this podcast, came with our little papers, and we both had the definition of intention. And the cool thing that I didn't know, I learned something new with looking up the definition of intention. There's also a medical definition of intention that is just so brilliant, that goes along with what we would normally think of the definition of intention. So
yeah,
I'm going to snag my little sheet off of the
I love that
here.
You noticed that too. That really caught my attention.
Yeah. So, the noun of intention. An act or an instance of determining mentally upon some action or result. The end or object intended, purpose, intentions, purpose or attitude toward the effect of one's actions. The act or fact of intending. Intention is a mental state that represents a commitment to carrying out an action or actions in the future. Intention involves mental activities such as planning and forethought. The beautiful one in the medical world, it literally means the process by which a wound heals. The process or manner in which a wound heals.
Yes. Wow.
And it's really, truly the only way we can heal our life is through setting intention.
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that brilliant? I love that one. I was like, whoa, I love that.
And if I may, and this is part of our intention too, that Keri and I have a commitment to being authentic, real, showing up with whatever is going on. And part of this idea to reestablish intention is because we were off a little bit. Yeah. Because I invited Keri to do a podcast with me, not my podcast. I had this phrase that I've been holding in my heart forever, and have tried, women's circles and Facebook groups and all these things. And it was like this coal that needed structure and someone else to spark it to life. And so working with Keri, this is now a new project in itself. It is our project. I thought that was communicated just, sometimes we think that we're communicating clearly and someone understands completely where we're coming from. I assumed, and you know what they say about assume? You know that saying?
Oh, well, I don't know. Which one?
When you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. So I assumed,
Yeah.
of course, you knew I was inviting you into a co-shared, co-collaborative,
Right.
but you were, without my awareness, sitting back a little bit, not fully joining because you were sort of waiting for me, and then I was like, wow. So when we got this realization, this is the healing. So this is, we set intention. Now maybe the wound, I don't know, maybe there was a wound of not feeling fully included or whatever. Here we are, healing it with intention.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I love
Beautiful.
it.
Awesome. Acknowledging our own stuff in our own ways. And honestly, my side of that was, it wasn't my idea.
Yeah.
And, being a writer and an editor, I'm super keenly aware of plagiarizing others' ideas or information. And so I think maybe I tend to be too careful sometimes of going, okay, this is hers and I'm here to help.
No.
This is ours.
Yeah, it is ours. And another way to think
This is
about
ours.
it is like maybe we birthed this baby into the world and we are
Right.
co-parenting.
Right.
I don't want to be a single parent on this one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're quote masters. We really like quotes. There's so many wise ones out there.
Yes.
But one of my favorites, and I know we've seen this, on The Secret, for those of us who have watched The Secret and that sort of thing, something similar that says, where attention goes, energy flows. And, the other one is give attention to your intention.
Yeah.
And the world begins to shift.
And
And,
love that.
I just love that. And it's so true. I went through a period where I was struggling, it was when I was going through my divorce many years ago. And like so many of us do, I had this negative loop that was going in my head about the situation, about myself, about choices, And even though I have always thought of myself as a very positive person, I got best smile in high school. But needless to say, I wasn't feeling too happy during that time of, huge life transition. And we tend to get locked in this inner negative dialogue that we play. And, energy flows where attention goes.
Yeah.
I was giving that, let me take these off now, a lot of attention, even without realizing it, that subconscious loop that plays for so many of us.
Yes.
And it wasn't until for me, I think there are two different kinds of intention settings. There are intentions that we set to shift a habit or a pattern or to create change in our life in some way. And then there are intentions that we set to manifest. And I think that we kind of have to approach those differently. And so for this, I really wanted to set an intention to shift my thinking, this habit that had kind of gotten hold. And I literally decided that, okay, I'm going to set an alarm. And so I set an alarm for every hour of the day that I wasn't sleeping. And checked in. Okay, how am I feeling? You have to drop in, get into that quiet space for a second. How am I feeling? Why am I feeling that way? Oh, this is what I've been saying in my head to myself without just playing in the background, that little, in the yoga world, we call it chitta vritti, monkey mind. Those little monkeys are just, they like to have their way. And by doing that day in and day out for a while, a good month, it takes us a while to shift. And so I was doing that every hour. That alarm would go off and I would go, what am I thinking? Okay, let's change that pattern. So I set that intention and I took action. Because I needed to create change. And then the other intention, to me, is that intention to manifest is the intention that you want to muster up and feel that powerful emotion of what it is like to already have manifested whatever that is you're intending. And feel that in your core, feel the joy, the excitement, the elation of that, and then you gotta let it go.
Right.
You can't set that hour reminder for that one.
Right.
Right? We have to let it go. The universe has our back. They've got that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And so how do you feel about the act of setting intentions, and what in your life has do you recall has been kind of around that?
Gosh, so many things open listening to that. But I have a little bit of a distinction. I love what you said. And this is part of why we believe and intend for this to work is because we're very similar in a lot of ways, and then we have very different philosophies in other places. And that, like, if we were exactly alike, you people would probably be bored out there. Like, be like, oh, me too. And so it's a little bit of a distinction, and that is I love the philosophy that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So making the distinction for me in the human experience is the goal setting. That's me taking action as a human with whatever physical goals in the physical realm. And then intention comes from the spirit. It's me co-creating with the universe, with God, like saying, okay, this desire is in my heart. I'm going to bring it into, like, taking it out of desire and saying, I am willing, and this is intention. And then, as you said so beautifully, that's the co-creating, surrendering it.
Right.
But really having that corresponding energy of, this is what it's going to feel like. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
You have to match what it is you want to bring in. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So
especially when working to manifest.
Yeah. So
it's all about frequency, baby, right?
Right. I want to say Reverend Michael, because you mentioned The Secret. So Reverend Michael is one of my teachers, and he has the best sense of humor. And I think I might have got a little of my wordsmithing from him. Maybe, I'm not sure, because when we share that,
you cultivate that, babe.
I love it. I play with words, and so does he. And so he says that we have a serious issue in our society. We have intention deficit disorder.
Oh yeah,
isn't that
brilliant.
right?
Brilliant.
Yeah, instead of what is the other one?
Attention.
Intention deficit disorder. We are so busy in the monkey mind clutter, and that we're just so not focused. So yes, when I have stopped, paused, set intention, I'm more in the flow. And it has to be, it's a practice. It has to be, of course, the more we practice, the more it becomes a natural way of being. But I do want to talk about, from a hypnotherapist standpoint, if I can, what you were talking about. Without intention, it's like that intention set in our consciousness. Without intention, we're sort of like a rudderless boat, in the sea, if I call it the subconscious soup mix of all that stuff. All of us, and many of us have done a lot of work with our subconscious material, and there's still those places, as Iyanla Van Sant says, we shouldn't be allowed inside our own minds without adult supervision. Like, Like someone
with all those monkeys.
Right, with all those monkeys. Somebody needs to be in the boat with us. Well, our spiritual practice is having someone in the boat with us. And so intention creates that rudder or that direction. And so if we don't have intention or direct focus, which is, I guess, another way of saying intention, focusing, it's going to pull up everything and anything. Right. Especially if we have a lot of stress going on, a lot of external pressure. We are going to be swimming in the deep waters of not really feeling supported. So intention, kind of another way of thinking of it, maybe is like a buoy or a boat that holds us, or the rudder that guides us where we want to go. So
absolutely. I've found I've been teaching yoga for many years now, so almost a couple of decades, and I started early on at the beginning of all of my classes, just really encouraging my students to set an intention. We would start by coming to a quiet space, and I feel like that's the most important thing, is to ground into your body, drop into your body, because we spend a lot of time out here and up here. And to set true intention with wisdom, with heart wisdom, we have to drop into that heart space. And so I always invite my students to set an intention for their practice, or even for their day or their week. And then throughout the hour or hour and a half of the yoga class, I remind them, when we come back to the breath, what was that intention? How is that going? Or do we still have that, in the forefront of our consciousness, and are we focusing on that? Because we lose focus so easily, especially now in the day of all of this multimedia stuff that's constantly pinging our brain and our attention. It's so easy to lose focus.
Right.
And so I encourage all of you to set a practice. If it's something that you're desiring, really set a practice. Set that alarm. Hey, what am I thinking? Am I flowing with my intention?
Yes.
Or have I gotten off track?
Right.
And flowing in your intention is really a beautiful way to think about it, because it is an energy. And if we're not in that flow of energy, we're in a different flow of energy.
Right, right.
It's going to take us on a different direction.
Might be a little bumpy down that road.
Might be a little bumpy down that way. So, I mean, this is really refreshing in me.
Yes.
To kind of rekindle
Yes.
that as a daily practice. As I lay there in my bed, I have this weird little funky routine in the morning when I wake up. I always try to wake up a little bit before Ron does, my husband. And I lay there in bed, and I just really drop into my body, allow spirit to flow through. And then, being a myofascial release therapist, after we've been sleeping for so long, we really need to shake our fascia and get all of that
You do
unglued.
that in the bed.
I do it in my bed. I do it in my bed. And we have one of those nice foam beds, so it doesn't move too much. And I shake my body, and it feels really good.
Nice. I'll have to try that.
And once my fascia is all unglued and unstuck from itself, fluffing out your fascia. Think about a fascia fluff. But after I do that, I'm going to start really mindfully setting an intention for my day.
There you go. Yeah.
Not waiting for when I get to my mat, which is usually later in the day when I get to a yoga mat.
Or when you're experiencing tension.
Yeah, or when I'm experiencing tension.
Yeah.
If that comes.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna rekindle that of setting that intention.
Yeah.
First thing in the morning.
It's a good idea.
And then when I get to my mat, I can go, oh, hey, how's that going?
Yeah, yeah.
Check in. How's that going?
Yeah. I just have to do a Sister My Soul thing and fix your hair.
Oh, thank you.
There we go, sister.
Thank you.
It was just right in your beautiful eyes. So it's funny because, yes, we are women on a path of healing and transformation, and we have our own practices. And even the best of us, with those who've been on a long time path and journey.
So many things to remember.
And then we can go off track too. I call it off-roading. And then it's like just a reminder to come back to these tools, these principles. And I too, as we were focusing in on this, I thought, I have a practice, a ritual in the morning that is different than just setting intention. It's, I do my dream work in the morning, and I pray. Somewhat of an intention there, but not as specific.
Right.
And then the end of the day, I have a ritual of letting go. But I have now been starting my intention of lighting the candle every morning. And it's as simple as that. I light the candle and set my intention, and then I let it go, and then I just imagine being held by that intention. So, and the thing is, it's not just a one-time in the morning, whatever. It's like, I'm a little off. Recommit to that intention.
Yeah, those check-ins. Set that alarm.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're new to it, really, I suggest this to friends, clients, whoever is struggling with a thought process. And when I tell them literally set your alarm, they kind of chuckle and laugh.
Yeah.
But we humans are creatures of habit.
Yes.
And if we had a bad habit, the only way that we're going to shift that is to change it with a good one.
Yes. Yes.
And so,
I love that. In fact, it reminds me of a practice that Reverend Michael had taught us years ago, and that was, I was in Los Angeles, of course, when I was studying with him, and to pick something in the external, something to cue you. And where I was working at the time, it was not too far from an airport. So whenever I would hear an airplane over, I would go within, check my intention, and here we can do it wherever you are. Find an external cue.
Whether it's your work environment or whether you drive a lot, every red light or green light.
Right. And some of us have those people on the external that remind us, okay, I gotta go in. Find my calm, safe place. Where am I? Happy place. Set intention. But and so I also want to invite people out there that to do similar what Keri and I did. Personal intention and collective with your partnership, similar. I wonder, I'd like to get your thoughts on how it's different than a mission statement, because it's in the same sort of territory, but there's a little bit of a distinction somehow, and it just comes to my mind now. Maybe we can talk about that.
I guess mission statement for me, what comes to mind is more detail.
So more in the human aspect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I mean, the word intention in itself definitely fits in both areas. But I think when I think mission statement, I think, we're going to do X, Y, Z, and we're going to do, X first, and then 2 weeks later, Y is going to happen, and then 2 weeks later, Z is going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's a wonderful thing to do from the base of intention.
Yeah.
Because those are the actions.
Yeah.
I feel like the mission statement is the action of the intention. Is that
Ooh, the action of the intention. I like that. The action of the intention. Yeah. And there's something there, because I like to teach mission statements as well. It's sort of the compass or the place you're moving to. Intention is how you move towards it, maybe? Something along that.
Mission statement is the roadmap, maybe, how to get there. Different from manifesting, because manifesting we can't create the roadmap in the manifesting.
That's a surrender.
That's a surrender, co-creating with the universe. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I love all these distinctions on concepts, and it's important. When you hear a concept, when you hear Keri and I talking about a concept, not only gleaning from what we're saying, but deepen it by doing your own research.
Right,
what exactly does that mean, so that you have a personal association with it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
And it's fascinating because it always opens up your mind to concepts you haven't considered. Just doing research for this podcast of intention.
Yeah.
Becoming open to things that I hadn't experienced before, and learning that the word intention marries in with, as children are growing up, how they begin to see the world through the interaction with adults and other humans, and intention that is given from the adults, and how that's perceived by a child, and how it affects their development. So it's super fascinating stuff, which you probably, as a therapist, know a lot more about than I do.
Well,
but really fascinating about the mental development of a child, when intention is followed through or when it's not, and how trust is developed.
I see what you're saying.
And
And
then there's another aspect of it as well, psychologically. But
And so I think what you're speaking of is like, so if a parent has intention and communicates that directly and clearly, that child has a secure knowing of this is what's expected. But the wobbly intention sets a child up to second guessing. I don't know what's wanted of me here. Doubt and all of that too. Another thing that is, whether or not you are setting intention, you think you're setting intention or not, you are. And the intention becomes sort of the inner climate. Like Martin Luther King said, be the thermostat, not the temperature. And I always love that.
I like that.
So it's setting your intention is your thermostat. I intend to feel, be, and experience this.
A perfect 68 degrees.
Yes, sunny on the inside, baby. But that is what we're energetically sharing with people too. So you may have an intent, or you may think your intention is to be in joy and love and connection, but you didn't set intention, and so you're a little cranky pants, and you're saying, no, I'm fine. That definition of fine. I don't think I could say it on here. Fine, I'm fine. I'm effed, insecure, neurotic, and emotional.
Oh, wow.
Heard that? So when people say, no, I'm fine, it's really, not true. So
it's like the Southern bless your heart.
Oh, bless your heart. Oh, someday I'll tell that joke on here. Good one. But your intention is being broadcast out anyway. And so people are feeling that, and that's where we can have incongruency in communication.
Absolutely.
And Keri,
duality.
Actually, Keri's really good at this, and I'm getting better with this partnership here, this friendship, to call me out on if I'm saying something and it feels incongruent, and she'll say, "What's going on right now? Are you okay?" And we try to do that with each other, and then let me do a check. You're right. I am a little bit off here. I'm communicating this, but my emotions are doing something else. That actually is an indicator that you've opened up a negative core belief that you're operating out of that is not congruent with what you're trying to create. Good place to check, reset, make a different choice, right?
Absolutely. And in light of sistering one another's soul,
yes,
that is truly one of the best gifts that you and I give each other.
Yeah.
It's our intention to be able to see our own shit
Yes.
and call one another out from a loving heart
Yes. Yeah.
on one another's.
Yeah. Right.
And, you know, just the other day when we were sitting here and I felt a shift and you had asked me to explain something or tell me why you think that or something like that.
Right.
And I felt the shift thinking that it was coming from you and being like, ooh, what's going on here? Did I offend or did something happen? And so I asked her and she dropped in, checked in, was like, no, I feel good. No, I'm good. I was like, okay, all right. And so I believed her.
Yeah.
And so then what did I have to do? I had to go, okay, who else is in this room?
You're right.
Me, I'm in this room. And all of a sudden, bing, something from a previous long-term experience that I had where I was always questioned
Yes.
about what I was feeling or saying in order to have to prove it,
Yes.
triggered something in me.
Right.
And I was like, cool!
Yes.
And so I told her,
Yeah.
and she was like, oh, that's awesome. And so being able to just have that honest space
Yes.
of sistering one another's soul in such a way that we truly desire and look for one another's best.
Yes.
And we both know that that's where the other is coming from. And and we want that for everyone. We want that for all of you because it is such a gift and such a safe space.
Yes.
Such a safe space.
Creating that safe place.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, again, we said on the first podcast, it's you can't practice at this level with everyone.
Right.
You need to establish trust. You know, and then when you have that, to be able to go to the depth within yourself and be authentic and real. And we've done that really well.
Yeah, because once we have the intention to stop defending ego and really live from spirit,
Yes. Yes.
things get beautiful and a lot easier.
Yes.
Is it always easy? No.
No.
But I can honestly say we've been so smooth and wonderful and supporting and loving, and we've had glitches.
Oh, yeah.
But they're always solved from such a loving, supportive space of one another.
Right. Yes.
And I think that's all about because when we became friends, our intention was just that. Was of truth and honesty and support of, I got your back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what comes to mind now, and when you have that intention in friendship or you with your partner or work, wherever, yourself, when something arises, like you have that, that, and we can go into fear quickly. I mean, we're humans, you know, and as you've said, this is kind of a new friendship. So you know that place, we have this inner dialogue going on with the external happenings all the time. You call it meta talk? What do you call it?
You have that in addition to this conversation that we're having, are we having a meta conversation in our head?
Right.
I can honestly say with this right now, no, there hasn't been any meta conversation going on in my head. But it takes such hard work and devotion to even become aware of your meta conversation.
Right. Yeah. But in general, it can, and especially if there's something on the external that triggers you.
Yeah.
And because we're so focused on the external, we tend to think something is happening here. And then we go through our filters, our associations. We're going to talk more about this later, and then we may open up a file in our brain where it was similar enough that we're now fearful of this person that I have beautiful intention with and commitment and trust with, and we forget that in that moment. So to connect with self and each other,
drop in,
baby.
That's all about dropping in and being present in your body.
Right.
And our culture is so predisposed to disassociate.
Right.
When something in here is not right.
Yes.
Ignore it. Keep on trucking.
Yes.
And so it's really our work in this time and everything that's going on in the world.
Yes.
To really reconnect with our body.
Yes.
Reconnect on every level.
And I can't wait for your episode. Keri's going to do an episode talking just about that topic, dropping into body wisdom, connecting.
Absolutely.
It's something, again, it's a practice, and it's true that's where we practice. If she says what's going on, I will literally go in.
She does. She's
take a few breaths, and last time I remember going, is it here? Is it here? No,
Uh-huh.
no, I'm clear. I'm all clear.
Brilliant.
But there have been times where I go, you know what? I do feel something going on, and I don't know exactly yet.
Check our time.
Let me get back to you, and then that's the intention, to be really authentic and responsible, taking personal responsibility.
Right.
So are we getting close?
This has been awesome.
This has been so
Our
fun.
hour is
Yeah.
really up. So,
Oh, wow. Can I say one more thing?
Of course you can.
Just that, because another way we can invite everyone out there, and we hope you're out there,
Yeah, go ahead.
to set intention when you sit down to listen to a podcast with us.
Oh, yeah.
What's your
brilliant.
intention? Why are you here? What do you need?
Yeah.
And to really savor this time. Take it. I had somebody say the other day, wow, you're intending to do 45 minutes to an hour. That's too long. I don't have enough time for that. And I was like, wow, it's only twice a month, if that.
If you have to,
If
break
you
it up
have-
into 2 listens.
Right.
I do that sometimes.
Right, but can
Yeah.
you set the intention that you are worthy of time to sit and grab a cup of tea or coffee or
Yeah.
whatever you want, and just
Absolutely.
take in what we're offering.
Breathe. Take a breath.
Yeah, breathe in,
Yeah.
and we intend to offer you something that
Yeah.
nourishes your soul each and every time. So
Yeah, and I am so grateful that you are taking that time, no matter
Yes.
how amount of time you spend with us.
Mhm.
I'm so grateful that you are doing that.
Yes.
And that you are sharing our vision and our desire to just really be a catalyst for the friendship and the holding space for one another as women.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
We hope you have an absolutely awesome day.
Mm.
Blessings and light and love.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us today and taking this time to sister your soul. We would love to keep the conversation and connection going, so please visit us on our Sister My Soul YouTube channel and our Facebook page, where you can leave your comments and inspirations. In the meantime, take good care of yourself, and we wish you many blessings.